One. Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. NWA Powerr is back. I think this is the weeks before looks that kill, by the sounds of it. Anyway, we're getting closer to it. NWA means one thing. It means I do have a tag team partner. She's repping. For those of you on YouTube, you can see she's repping the jersey. It's Miss Fiona
Finally.
Loughran. How are you?
Hello, darling. You all right?
Oh, I'm grand. Absolutely grand. Another week. Episode 76, I think, of this.
Okay.
I've been keeping track now because we are getting closer to the big episode 100 of our Powerr conversations. How quick has those 70 odd episodes gone, Fee?
That's nuts, actually.
When you think about it, you spent
Yeah.
100 weeks with me, near enough.
Lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me indeed. NWA Powerr this week, we kind of mentioned it looks as though it's either close to Looks That Kill or the week before. We'll probably find that out next week. We're going to start with the end this week, just because it was, well, we was going to have a big announcement from Mr. William Corgan, Billy Corgan, who was going to give us an announcement this week. It happened at the end of Powerr, and we was all wondering
What
what
it
that
was going to be.
announcement. Yeah, getting a bit excited. Actually, episode 77, by the way. Just getting a bit excited about what this could be. Could it be a new TV deal? Could it be they're going back to signature live events? Because we had speculated because of hard times, not having the Powerr banner underneath it. And it was that Looks That Kill was going to have a steel cage match, which we know they had two of them. So
It
I
was the
suppose.
biggest disappointment ever. Like, the biggest and I should have known better. Let's be honest. The last big announcement that Billy made was that, oh, my wife's pregnant, and now here's a blue meanie. Oh, and NWA aren't going anywhere. Like, come on. We're not kids. Like, and they hyped it up for the last few days. They hyped it up and they hyped it up and they hyped it up. And it's not a secret that there was two cage matches at Looks at Kill.
There wasn't, no.
So yeah, that was just frustrating, um, and not unexpected from NWA, to be honest with you.
No, unfortunately
I
not.
love them. Like, I love NWA. I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Hmm.
But holy shit, man. Sometimes I just want to give them a shake.
They need it sometimes, and they certainly did with that. I mean, it was a big disappointment, and I think I got it at the start of the show because they said he'd have an announcement regarding Looks That Kill, and I was just like, this is going to be the
But
case.
that's it. As soon as that came out, I was like, "Ugh, here we go."
Yeah, it was just a point of when, but they put it right at the end of the show, so we wanted to get that out of the way before we got into the action, just because it was, probably the
End
best.
the show on a high note instead of me bitching and moaning about Billy and his stupid announcements.
Yes, that's another reason why I done it. Let's get into the action. And what better way than to start with a good old-fashioned meat slapper?
Absolutely. I've literally written two big guys, happy fee.
Happy Feet, Silas Mason and Mr. Grimm. Is it Mr. Grimm or
Mr.
Mr.
Graham,
Mr.
yeah.
Grimm? I put on there that during this match, that Grimm showed some incredible athleticism for a big old boy. I mean, he was diving, he went over the top rope and done like a move over the top. He done like a springboard or some kind of, yeah, he did it a springboard during this.
Good
Impressive.
match from Silas. Like, I don't mean in
Yeah.
terms of the match itself, but I
No.
mean as opposed to the opponent. They were a good match for each other.
Yeah, very well matched. Very, they had actually really good chemistry. I didn't, there's sometimes when you put two big guys together, it doesn't quite work. But
Yeah.
you got two big athletic guys that can move. They're not slow by any stretch. They hit hard. It was a really, really good opening contest. There was a
It
huge,
was solid. Absolutely
yeah,
solid from an opener. Yeah.
massively great opener. Big. There was near the end of this. There was a big Death Valley driver from Grimm that I thought may have won it. Silas kind of kicked out at like 1.5 though, and then he hit an almighty thrill ride.
It was quite spectacular last night.
You got to think that Grimm probably is about 350, 360, I think, weight. And
Wow. Okay.
Silas was throwing him around like he was a cruiserweight, especially for that
Yeah,
particular move. So for those you don't know what thrill ride is, it's like a boss man slam, but you spin him around before you drop him,
pretty much.
is the way that I would describe it. Spinning rock bottom, maybe, in a but he has him hanging and he spins him around. So
I would
very
never want to be
impressive.
on the receiving end of that, that's for sure. Does
No.
not look like fun.
Doesn't look like a thrill ride.
No. And I
That's
love
for
spinny rides at the fair and stuff, but not that.
I don't think that's a ride I don't think my heart could take that ride anyway, to be quite honest with you, but I don't want to be on it. But Silas picks up an impressive win. And we look this year, I mean, we're talking about maybe Kerry Morton winning a title. I know Thrill Billy's had a championship before. I think he had the national heavyweight championship before. How long before he's back in the big title picture?
I don't know because I'm beginning to wonder if there's a few contenders coming through.
Hmm.
I think he's going to be up there.
Yeah.
Definitely think he's going to be up there, but I think there's maybe one or two others kind of champing at his heels a little bit.
Could be. Who's on your list?
Barcho,
Yeah, he's got us. Yeah.
potentially Barcho, who
Yeah.
I'll come back to later on because he does a little. We'll come back to
Does.
him.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not so sure about. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I can't see some of the smaller guys being the world's heavyweight champion. So the likes of Kerry and that, I'm not saying he can't do it.
Mm.
He's super talented, but I just can't see the belt on him because for me, the world's heavyweight champion generally tends to be. This is going to sound so wrong, and folk are going to moan at me, but it generally tends to be for bigger guys.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, like I kind of see it as something for taller guys, slightly larger guys. Um, that's just what I see. I don't know. I can't see Kerry holding that belt,
Give you an
but
interesting one. How about
you
this?
never know.
How
What's
about
that?
this? We end 2025 at NWA. Alex
Hmm.
Taylor, the junior heavyweight champion. Kerry Morton, the national heavyweight champion. Silas Mason, the NWA world champion.
I could see that 100%. And maybe even before the year's out. We're only in January, remember?
Mm-hmm. Mid-January already, though. January's getting there already. We're getting that, but
Yeah.
yeah, could happen.
A Southern Six clean sweep.
There we go.
Imagine the boys held the tag titles as well.
Don't even want to think of that. It'd just be
They'd be unbearable, and I would love it.
they would be unbearable. And then just for God's sake, they won the US tag titles as well on top.
Well, they
Southern
could
Six.
freebird them, couldn't they?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. There you go.
Oh,
Southern Six hold all
book it,
seven. Oh
Billy.
my God. Yeah, I can imagine that. At the end of it, at the end of that match, we had a promo from Lil Ruiz, who's going against
La
someone that we,
pescadita.
yes, someone who we're going to be speaking to very, very soon, funnily enough, at the time of recording, Holyhood Haley J. Yeah, Lil Ruiz was saying this is her biggest opportunity ever to make a name for herself in the NWA. We'll see if she does that
We will
uh,
indeed.
in a bit. It's now time for my favorite part of the show. You know who's coming up next. Pretty Empowered against Caribbean Flow, La Rosa Negra Rufy J against Kenzie and Kylie Page.
This was something.
I thought this was great. I thought this was a great showcase for the women. I'm not too sure about the double gritty elbow, though, that the Page sisters did. I'm going to have a bit more of a moan about dancing in a little while. I will say that Pretty Empowered were in control a lot of this match. However, for a little spanner in the Pretty Empowered works, I'm starting to prefer them two more as a single now than a tag.
Gonna tag.
I think that Kylie's got to a point now where she's not saying that she wasn't good enough in the first place, but when we saw her in singles action, she was, she stood out a
She could
lot as a
really hold
single.
her own.
Yeah, and I don't think she needs not being she needs to with Kenzie, but I just think it may be time for Pretty Empowered just to not split up and have a feud against each other, but just split up and go singly off separate ways. And again, you could have Kenzie holding the world still and Carly holding the US.
the
women's.
US, nor
Yeah,
the or even the TV title.
that's what I meant.
Oh no,
Right.
have they not been
Big Mama's got one, hasn't she?
merged? Big Mama's
Big-
got that. Ooh,
So I know it's a bit of
Mama
a.
versus Kylie. That would be interesting.
It would be. There was a throw. I can't remember who. I think it might have been La Rosa Negra. She threw Kylie Page into that bottom turnbuckle during a match. It was like she owed her rent. I mean, Jesus, she
Just
launched.
ragdolled her.
Christ Almighty!
Completely ragdolled her.
I thought she injured her at one point. Not on purpose, but I just thought because of the the impact of the move. I was like,
Yeah.
geez, I wasn't expecting it. And then she hit a great spine buster on her as well. And then she got the hot tag. And then Ruthie J hits one of this amazing sequence. She done a roll up into a German suplex. This is why we keep saying time and time again about the NWA women and about how great they are. Just watch that sequence alone, and it just shows you how good the five-star athlete, as she is, Ruthie J. I mean, that move was incredible.
I'm starting to really enjoy watching her wrestling. It took me a little while to warm up to her,
Mm.
but
It
I am
did.
starting to enjoy watching her do her thing in the ring. So
Yeah, it's a bit interesting on what comes up after. I mean, so then Kylie Page pushes La Rosa Negra into Ruthie J, rolls her up one, two, three, pretty empowered, get out of the ring. Then there's an argument ensuing between La Rosa and Ruthie. There's obviously one got hit into the other. They're having this argument. La Rosa kind of powers her arm away because Ruthie's sort of putting it in her face. They kind of make peace, and you knew it was coming. You were
yeah,
just waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally, the moment La Rosa Negra turned her back, Ruthie J beat Seven Bells a crap out of her.
yeah. And here lies the end of Caribbean Flow by the looks of things.
Yeah, which
But
we.
what I will say is, and
Mhm.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here. Now, we know from seeing social media posts that Ella Envy
Yeah. Mm.
has not re-signed her contract with
Yes.
NWA and is on the way out. Now, I am wondering if this leads a little road in for Miss Star to have a new tag team partner,
Ooh,
potentially.
interesting. Didn't think of that. Yeah, we didn't mention that. I don't think we mentioned it. I think it happened after last week's show, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
Um,
obviously Ella has said that she'll not be not she's not renewed her contract.
yes.
I think she was at Looks at Kill, but I think her contract ran out at the end of the year. So
Mm,
I don't think she was at Shockwave at the weekend when it was recorded.
mhm.
So I'm like, okay, Samantha Starr, uh, potentially a tag team partner in the form of, I am guessing, Ruthie, as opposed to La Rosa Negra. That's kind of obviously put Ruthie as a heel doing that
Yeah.
on our tag team partner. But just planting that little seed, putting that out there. If Miss Star's looking for a tag team partner, then maybe Ruthie's it.
Maybe. Obviously, Ella Envy's a loss, a big loss for the
I'm
NWA.
so gutted. Honestly, as a character wrestler, so to speak,
Yeah,
she's just got it. Like her facial expressions and everything,
yeah.
she has just got it. And I'm really, really excited to see what happens with her moving forward and where she ends up and where she goes.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a very interesting one. Obviously, we wish her well. It's a shame that things. Obviously, listen, it's going to happen all the time. It happens everywhere in wrestling. People move on, and yeah, it comes a bit of a shock though. I mean, obviously because they've not yet dropped the titles. We don't know if they do drop the titles yet. They've got a
Yeah.
TBA match, Looks to Kill, which we don't know who that is against. So unless it's against one of the new teams, and they drop it to them.
Who knows? I don't know. I
Who
really, really
knows?
don't know.
We don't know, and we'll find out though. Looks to kill, but again, as I said, we wish Kylie, not yet. God, we wish,
No.
we wish Ella very, very well, all the best wherever she does end up. You were talking Birchall earlier on. There was a promo between him and Mills. Now they've got a match coming up, or they had a match. I can't remember if it was a match coming up, or they've had
They've
the
had
match.
a match, yeah.
A Looks to Kill, is that coming up? A Looks to Kill?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've seen so many NWA matches flash up on my phone recently. I can't remember, but they've got a match coming up, and oh, look, good promo actually. Really enjoyed this. Birchall was really trying to I think they're trying to do something with Burchill, NWA, and hopefully, I mean, I don't think he's going to beat Mims at this stage, but it was a really good showcase of Burchill on top in terms of microphone ability.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was if you closed your eyes for just even a second, it was like listening to Nick talk.
Nick Aldis, yes, yeah.
Like they're from the same part of the world, obviously, but they sound so similar. I'm like, this is actually quite spooky.
Yeah, they
But
do
I think
sound very
Burtle's in
similar.
great shape, and I'm really
Yeah,
delighted to see him back in action again because he'd been out in the wilderness as far as TV was concerned for
yeah.
quite a significant number of years, and he looks great, and he's held his own since he's come back into the ring again. So
Yeah, he looks really well. We'll see if he does get the job done. I don't think he will, but whether he does get the job done. But another one, as you say, very much in the title picture. I know he's got a title shot, but for
yeah,
other titles as well. We'll see how that goes. The next match, Daisy Kill and Talos versus the Miserably Faithful,
you
Gags,
pal gags.
and the Judas who's used my razor blade.
I've literally written a couple of notes, right? This is hilarious. It took me about 2 minutes to realize, and then I've literally on my notes during the match, I've just put a big asterisk and gone, wait, Judas has no hair.
Well, I
Like,
thought I started watching this match when I was on my lunch, and I was making a drink, and I've heard I think I heard Billy was saying about how we don't like people get sent to the hospital, and I assumed that this was it was meant to be Judas, but Judas was attacked, and it got somebody else in, and it was only until they kept saying Judas, and I'm like, that's not Judas, that's not,
yeah,
and it was.
it
He
caught me
did,
off guard. What I will say is, holy shit, Judas is a tall human being, a big man. Talos made him look tiny.
did.
Like Talos made Jedias look like a normal sized guy, and he's not a normal sized guy. He is a big lad. He is tall, and normally when he's in the ring, he looks like a giant. But Talos made him not look like a giant.
He did not. Talos made him look really, really small.
This was a really interesting match for me.
I tell
I
you what,
love the hot tags, and
I'm gonna say.
I love the hot tags, and I love the way they did them, and the way Daisy tagged in and then ran round the ring and came in from the back. Like that was they played a smart game in this match, a really really smart game in this match.
And not only did you say the tags was great, it was a great old school tag team match because they were cutting the ring off,
Yeah.
not allowing Judas to make the tag to Gags, and he finally did. He done there was a big bulldog off the top rope that he done near the end of the match at Gags, and poor Gags though. I mean, when somebody gets, you know that he's going to get the end is going to be on poor Gags, and there was a big razor's edge as well during this. And then, so how I can describe this choke slam was obviously you got to appreciate that Talos is in the ring, but when he lifts Gags up, he's above the NWA sign.
We spoke, was it Talos we spoke about the other week? Or was it, oh, it was Knox and Murdoch. It was the double one that Knox and Murdoch
Yeah,
did. They're not short either. You
no,
think about the height of Talos. He's what, 7 foot?
yeah,
And then he's got his arm up above his head. So that adds another foot or so on.
yeah. It was monumental. He was.
Like, how can you walk after that?
Well, not that Gags did walk.
You must
That's
be proper winded.
yeah, and he doesn't exactly throw you gently either.
Mm-mm.
It was a thud. I mean, as I said, when you held Gags up, it was above the NWA sign that's above the curtain that they come out of. So it wasn't exactly, I'm gonna have to try and clip it for the picture on the thumbnail on YouTube. Because it was a monumental choke slam. They get the victory, Daisy Kill and Talos. I'm not surprised by it
I
one
like
bit.
this match from them. I really did.
It was well put
They
on.
definitely found their groove as a tag team without a
Yeah.
doubt. And like I said, they wrestled so smart in this match. So, so smart.
They did. It was a smart tag match. The way they booked it and everything, it was really good. Uh, yeah, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed that match
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too.
But coming then, of course, it was my other good friend, second time on the show. Mike Mondo was having an interview. Look, he's aiming for big things, isn't he, in NWA?
He's pissed off.
He's pissed off. Yeah. Not a happy bunny. Not a happy
Fumbled his
Mondo.
words a couple of times.
He what?
He fumbled his words a couple of times.
He did. He did. He did indeed, Mr. Mondo. But nevertheless, look, he's going to have a match coming up as well. He'll be at Looks That Kill. See, I told you. He's also he's also going to be at Shockwave as well. But we'll see what's next with Mondo. He's not a happy, he's pissed off bunny. I was going to say a pissed off cheerleader, but that would be going back to
Yeah, I
his.
wouldn't be calling him that anymore.
No, not anymore. No. Well, it's time for going to Holyhood and Lil Ruiz for the match earlier. Look, in terms of the wrestling on this match, thought it was great. There was a great stalling vertical suplex. There was, some great There was some great stomps from Holyhood, the double back stomp, the double back knee stomp, the Shining Wizard that she'd done.
Yeah,
But less of the dancing. I mean, I can't dance for shit, but that is
I
like,
know. I suppose there's a time and a place for everything, though. And yeah, I was like, really? Because they kind of started it off with a bit of a dance off at the start. And I'm like, really? Like, show what you can do. And it's not dancing I want to see. So
no, it wasn't either.
they did have the family friendly baseball slide into the apron spot that I've
Yes.
seen at countless indie shows over here, which is
Yeah.
always fun. We have a wrestler, Lucha DS, over here. Obviously a Lucha wrestler in a mask. And he tricks folk into doing that on a regular basis. And then when they're in the apron between the skirt and the ring itself, takes great pleasure and absolutely booting them up the arse, and it's funny and the kids love it. That's always a good family show spot.
Yeah, that's a good bit of fun. It was a good bit. That was a nice bit of a nice move. I remember Fit Finley used to do it. Dave Finley used to do it in WWE quite a lot. It's good to see that move. She did hit a big stomp finally to finish the match.
She
Uh,
did. I
Holyhood.
liked watching both of them. It's
Yes.
good to see Haley in the ring again. I quite like
Yeah.
what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I know Billy, like, it's not something I picked up on, but Billy said, like, she's a wee bit unconventional in terms of her timing and things like that, is a little bit almost back to front from most
Hmm.
other people,
Yeah.
which I didn't pick up on, but I was like, okay. Um, to see Lily Reese in action was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
quite like her.
Yeah. Got potential there.
I'd quite like to see a bit more. Now, I can't remember which promotion they said that it's one of the
Uh,
territories, and I think it
yeah.
might be in Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's one of the territories that she's been at a couple of times, so I'm pretty sure we'll see some more of her.
We will. I think we will. Definitely. They're a good match. Haley wins. See what's next for those two. Main event time. It was the Slimeballz and the Fixers. There you go. I managed to do it in one go. Um, this was quickness over power in this, although the Fixers can move for their size. We say that.
They
Uh,
can, and they went straight in off the bat as well for
They
this
did.
one.
I will say this: the Slimeballz held their own, even if their move weren't having much
Do you
effect.
know they did actually? I actually thought Sage being the smaller one of the two of them
Hmm.
did all right. I
Yeah.
thought they would have destroyed Sage very, very quickly, but Sage hung in there, and obviously Tommy Rand was there to kind of make the save a couple of times back and forward. But yeah, I thought the Slimeballs did pretty well, all things considered, against who they were up against.
Yeah, they certainly did. I mean, the only advice I would give them is don't try and suplex one of the fixers on your own. Uh,
Yeah, it's probably not advisable.
you were
And
never going to
and
get it
and
done.
now we know that three single leg drop kicks don't work on Legarsky.
Yes, we know that as well. This was a real fun match. The ending was mad, though. I didn't quite understand the ending to this. Go
So
on.
obviously, Carson slides into the ring.
But why?
This is the million-dollar question. So Carson comes out, pulls Sage out, but because he's put his hands and physically touched Sage, the referee DQs Legursky and Bradley.
Yeah.
So the fixers get DQ'd because the outside interference has interfered with their opponents.
Hmm.
And I'm not really sure. Carson didn't really say much about it because after the match, after the DQ, there the Slimeballz and Carson are with Kyle, and he didn't really say much about it, to be honest with you.
No, no, he just laughs.
There's obviously something brewing.
Something is brewing between them. The fixers are pissed. I mean, they were throwing things into the ring, chairs, a lot were getting
Yeah, I wouldn't
luzzed
be
in
getting on the
there.
wrong side of them.
Why would no?
I'm not quite sure why. Like that kind of came out the blue. There's not really been anything that I can remember off the top of my head to have caused that.
No,
So I'm not sure.
neither am I. Very, very weird one, that's for sure. But still, the winners, as you say, the Slimeballz, as Carl Davis would
A
say.
good victory for them, even if it was a DQ.
Big victory in
It's
more
a
ways.
win's a win.
Yeah, it was a big victory in more ways than one for the Slimeballs. That's for sure. But that was the main event. That was Power this week. Lots and lots of fun, as always. We did touch on the Billy Corgan announcement. That wasn't an announcement because we already knew what the announcement was going to be once they announced what the announcement was. Uh, it's a bit
Well
of
done.
a thanks. Right, B, what's going on in your world?
Absolutely nothing until the end of the month. January's a quiet month for wrestling up here.
Hmm.
So the end of the month, I've got the Jim Ross shows with ITR on the
Yes.
29th, 30th, and then the
Uh-huh.
1st of February. So looking
Uh,
forward to that. And then
yep.
I've got a couple of shows start to kick off in February and things start to get busy from then on in. So I think the first actual MC gig of the year is with Premier British Wrestling around about the 8th of February, there or thereabouts.
Cool. Bits.
Quiet January. I'm actually quite enjoying it. Although the weekends are weird when you don't have shows and
When
you're
you don't
supposed
have
to be at them
shows.
all the time.
Yeah, we got 4 weeks till ours. Ignite 3 weeks is actually 3 weeks is Sunday to Ignite. Those of you now will know that a turnbuckle title is not on the line, but you will know that there is a triple threat match, number one contenders match for Mr. Marky Boy, who's they announced today. Finally, now I can renounce that he wasn't really pissed off with this. Basically, he's going to Noah.
Well
Pro
done.
Wrestling Now with
That's
Kieran
pretty
Lacey.
cool.
They're going to go and wrestle over there. So we've announced a triple threat match for the number one contendership. That's going to pit Shane Hook, Harrison Bennett, and they're going to go against Aluna in a triple threat match. And the winner of that will take on Marky Boy at a later date. We look forward to that. That's 3 weeks away. We've had a lot going on in the world of hitting a turnbuckle. You've seen it was big thanks to Sean Mooney. Yes, Sean Mooney. Me and Andy interviewed him yesterday. It was a great show. Loved every minute of it. That will be out next week. What's just dropped today? Shelly Martinez. So go and check that out. That's great. I can't give away too much of a guest that's coming on soon, but yeah, yeah, we will leave that for now. It's 5 star, whatever it is, and it's not Rufy J. Unfortunately, maybe in the future, a couple of NWA spotlights are getting closer to get one. One of them is going to be very interesting, that's for sure. We can announce that when we can.
I
But
look forward to it.
oh, me too. But Fee, look, it's back next week. Are we going to be back next week?
We most certainly will be.
Until then, everybody, check us out on HTTB on X, HTTB or HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube. Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on Instagram and the Blue Sky, because I keep forgetting Blue Sky.
I know.
Until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and
Bye.
bye.